Ladies and gentlemen, let's embark on an exploration, an intellectual journey into the tangled realms of human interaction, particularly as it manifests between the sexes. Now, why? Why would a woman ignore a man if she's interested in him? Why wouldn't she just say it outright? Isn't that the logical thing to do? Well, no. It's not always that simple. You see, in the domains of interpersonal attraction, human behavior, particularly female behavior, is layered with nuance. It's not always linear. It doesn't conform to the tidy categorical boxes that modern rationalism tries to impose on it. Human beings do not reveal themselves in straight lines, especially not when vulnerability is at stake. And in the domain of male-female dynamics, the truth is often hidden behind masks, some woven by culture, others by instinct, and many by fear. When a woman ignores you, it's not always rejection. Sometimes it's the rawest signal of interest she knows how to give, without shattering the fragile protection she spent years, even decades, constructing around her inner life. We live in a world that assumes clarity is kindness, but sometimes clarity is dangerous, especially for the one who feels more. A woman's emotional life is multi-dimensional, and unlike men who are often taught to project strength through assertion, women often communicate strength through subtlety, ambiguity, and restraint. Her silence can be louder than your words. Her withdrawal, a signal. Her gaze turned away, a test, a shield, or even a cry for recognition, without vulnerability. You must understand, centuries of social structure have rewarded women not for directness, but for discretion, for knowing how to feel deeply without always showing it, for being able to observe before revealing. It's not weakness, it's strategy, and it's biological. A woman's reproductive success was never just about survival, it was about discernment. The woman who gave herself too easily risked everything. The one who waited, who watched, who listened before acting, she passed on her genes. So what looks like ignoring may actually be ancestral memory at play. The archetype of the feminine testing the worthiness of attention. The unconscious calculation. Will he notice? Will he persist without entitlement? Will he collapse into resentment or rise with quiet certainty? We forget that much of female power is exercised through selection, not force, through invitation and refusal, not pursuit, through what is left unsaid. And in that silence, if you listen closely, you can hear everything. You can hear the echo of ancient instincts. Don't give yourself to a man who won't bear the weight of uncertainty. Don't open your heart to someone who can't read between the lines. Don't love him unless he's strong enough to wait in the unknown. You are not being ignored. You are being observed. Her avoidance is not a game. It is a filter, a psychological sifting process. She is asking without words, can he handle me at my most mysterious? Can he decode me without control? Can he feel me without ownership? In male logic, affection is a straight line. Want, act, express. In female psychology, it is more like the tide, ebbing and flowing, approaching, then retreating, revealing only to conceal again. This isn't manipulation, it's calibration. And calibration matters when the stakes are trust, intimacy, and emotional safety. Because if she gives herself too quickly, you might devour her spirit, and if she never gives herself at all, she will devour her own. So she waits. She turns her face away not to reject, but to survive. And the man who can understand that, truly understand it, becomes rare, because he is no longer asking, why won't she talk to me, but instead, what is she protecting? This is not about playing hard to get. This is not about childish games. This is about the complexity of human intimacy when filtered through trauma, evolution, and identity. If you cannot hold her ambiguity, you cannot hold her heart. If her silence makes you aggressive, she knows she cannot be safe with you. If her withdrawal makes you desperate, she sees that your confidence is brittle. But if you can stand still in the discomfort of not knowing, if you can keep your frame in the presence of her mystery, then you become something rare in her world, a man who doesn't need control to feel secure. Her ignoring you could be the beginning of the conversation she doesn't know how to have yet. Not all communication is verbal. Some of it is energetic. Some of it is emotional chess. Some of it is ancestral fear wrapped in modern smiles. You think she's playing cold, but maybe she's terrified of falling too fast. You think she's indifferent, but maybe she's overwhelmed by the possibility that you might actually matter. The feminine spirit is not linear. It's intuitive, recursive, and layered. And often, it withholds in order to feel safe. It disappears to see if your presence was real. She does not want a man who collapses at the first sign of mystery. She wants a man who can breathe through uncertainty without begging for reassurance. You are not entitled to her clarity. You must earn her vulnerability. And that earning happens in silence, in the space between her text and your reply. In the moment, she looks away and you don't panic. Every time she ignores you, she's watching your reaction. Every time she pulls back, she's asking, are you still the same man or only strong when it's easy? She doesn't want to push you away. She wants to know if you'll stay when she's not performing affection. Because any man can love her when she's soft and smiling, but only the right man will remain when she's distant and guarded. Only the right man sees her pulling away and doesn't rush to fix it. He lets her come back on her own terms, in her own time. That is strength, and that is respect. So when she ignores you, don't rush to conclusions. Don't grasp. Don't fall apart. Feel your fear, but don't act from it. Recognize your confusion, but don't blame her for it. See the silence as sacred, as a crucible for your own psychological development. Because in that silence, you have two choices: abandon yourself in the pursuit of her, or discover yourself in the absence of her approval. And the man who chooses the second becomes more than attractive. He becomes irreplaceable. Not because he chased her, but because he held his ground and honored her complexity without needing to solve it. In doing so, he speaks a deeper language, a language she's been waiting her whole life to hear. And in time, if she feels safe, she might speak back. Not with words, but with presence. Not with certainty, but with trust. And in that moment, you'll understand, her ignoring you wasn't rejection. It was the beginning of something real. Her silence is not just distance, it is measurement. Her absence is not abandonment, it is evaluation. In the depth of her quietness lies a question that echoes through centuries of human struggle between the masculine and the feminine. Can you carry structure where she brings chaos? What you call ignoring may be her most ancient form of inquiry. She is not rejecting you. She is revealing the space where your character must speak louder than your words ever could. She tests, not to punish, but to reveal the fault lines in your foundation, not to dismiss you, but to see if your roots are deep or merely decorative. She pulls back because she needs to see whether your presence depends on her validation or on your own integrity. If your identity crumbles when she steps away, then your sense of self was never sovereign to begin with. Her withdrawal exposes the gap between your image and your essence. Do not resent the test. Without it, there would be no transformation. She challenges your patience because love without fortitude collapses under pressure. She places you in the unknown to see whether you can carry purpose without constant affirmation. She does not want to follow a man who begs. She wants to follow a man who leads, even when unseen. In mythology, the dragon guards the treasure, not to keep the hero away, but to make sure only the worthy enter. Her silence is the dragon. Her emotional retreat is the fire. And your discipline in the face of it all is the sword. If you cannot stand still while she wavers, you are not yet the ground she can walk upon. If her silence provokes you into chaos, then you have not mastered your own. The woman tests the man not to destroy him, but to reveal if he is destroyable. What she ignores, she also watches. What she resists, she also feels. What she tests, she also hopes will rise. She does not want a hollow man who collapses with every unreturned glance. She wants the one who can remain still while the storm rearranges her. When she distances herself, she is watching to see if you rush to fix her or remain rooted in yourself. She is asking silently, is he reacting or responding? Is he triggered or composed? Is he chasing me out of fear or loving me out of freedom? There is no intimacy without fire, and fire reveals what is real. She brings the flame not to consume you, but to see what in you can withstand it. Your reaction is her revelation. You think she wants you to chase, but she wants you to stay conscious. You believe she wants you to beg, but she wants to see if you can choose yourself without abandoning her. Your neediness is not evidence of love, it is evidence of self-loss. She does not want a man who sees her distance as a wound. She wants a man who sees it as a call to depth. She does not want reassurance, she wants resonance. And resonance comes from the stillness of truth, not the desperation of control. She is not a puzzle to solve, she is a mirror to face. And when she pulls away, she is reflecting your own instability. Her test is not pass or fail, it is reveal or conceal. You either become more of who you are, or you expose who you never were. This is not a game of dominance, it is a dance of alignment. She tests not to control, but to find out if your rhythm matches hers in motion, stillness, and return. Do not fear her withdrawal, fear your reaction to it. That is where your real work lies. That is the crucible where immature desire becomes noble intention. When she stops talking, start listening, not to her words, but to your breath, your posture, your attachments. When she creates distance, expand inward, not with panic, but with purpose. You will not pass her test by explaining yourself. You pass by embodying yourself. You will not win her back by performing. You will earn her trust by being. She is chaos, yes. But chaos is not a threat. Chaos is potential. Chaos is the field from which life is born. She becomes the storm to see if you can build shelter within your soul. Do you lead yourself when she is no longer watching? Do you speak truth when her silence makes you question your value? Do you remain who you say you are when her absence feels like rejection? Her test is sacred because it asks the question that even the gods cannot avoid. What are you when love costs you comfort? A woman's test is not about approval, it's about alignment. She wants to see if your internal compass still points north when her presence removes the map. She is not demanding answers, she is demanding depth. Only those who have built themselves brick by brick can stand in that space without losing shape. If your confidence is performance, she will see through it. If your self-worth depends on her, she will pull away to show you what was missing. She does not want to break you. She wants to see if you're already broken and just wearing the mask of strength. Her test removes that mask. What remains is truth or emptiness. When she ignores you, ask not, why is she doing this, but what in me feels threatened. That answer holds the key to becoming the man who does not just attract her, but keeps her without possession. A man who passes the test is not flawless, he is grounded. He does not chase validation, he radiates clarity. He does not seek control, he offers presence. You cannot fake this. The feminine tests to peel away illusion. If you have built yourself on performance, you will collapse. But if you have built yourself on truth, you will endure. She tests to see if you can stand still in the eye of her storm, because the man who can hold that stillness can hold her heart. Not to own it, but to guard it. Not to possess it, but to witness it. The test never ends. It is not a phase, it is the rhythm of intimacy. A woman does not stop testing when she loves you, she tests more. Because only in testing does she learn whether your strength is consistent. If you see her test as manipulation, you've already failed. If you see it as fear disguised as power, you are getting closer. If you meet it with stillness, presence, and unwavering selfhood, you are finally becoming a man worth trusting. Her love is not fragile, it is forged. But it needs to know if your container can hold it. Her test is not a wall, it is a gate. You don't break it down. You become the key.